and welcome back. We are so excited to bring to you Chef Michael Silverstein, star of Season 10 Master Chef. Hello, Chef Michael.
Hello, my friends. So good to see you.
How are you? How is everything?
Tell me.
I'm good. I mean, the world's a crazy place right now, but I don't think we're even going to get into that.
Let's get into it. So where have you been quarantined?
Quarantined at home here in Austin, Texas. And it kind of worked out. I mean, not that it worked out, but I spent most of the first part of 2020 writing my cookbook. And so I've just been kind of like locked at home anyway, just working. So I don't know, weird year, but looking forward to everything that 2021 is bringing.
Would you say you've been more productive during this quarantine, like printing out recipes, developing recipes, working on your cookbook, or have you, like me, just been completely depressed?
I mean, a little of both, right? Like I had some downs, of course, but man, I had to stay busy because like the minute I'm not busy, I'm losing my, can I cuss?
Yes.
I was losing my fucking mind. Like if I'm bored, I'm done. So staying busy is like everything for me. So I mean, I'm always busy, but less distractions when the world is shut down, and it made it easier for me to lock myself in and just cook and write.
And do you feel like everything, like, so we've been doing everything virtual and live, like we haven't really, or at least we've told not to have any human interaction. Have you found like most of your work, like having to do virtual and everything like that, how do you feel that that's impacted you in any way?
So there's been some good and some bad, right? Because, you know, I came to Austin a little over a year ago with the plans of doing a lot more private chef stuff where I'd, you know, do exclusive parties and events. And obviously like that whole business, I'd done a bunch of events in the fall in 2019, right when I got here. And then the world shut down. I basically just could, I mean, there's no events to cook for. People aren't having parties or anything. So that got destroyed. But at the same time, you know, I got approached with a book deal at the same time in the fall. And so much of the other part of my business, which is, you know, being on social media and a blogger and sharing my recipes online, that's just soared. I mean, it was a huge year for me in that sense, both between the book and Instagram. So you know, the world works in mysterious ways, and while one door was closing, one was really opening.
That's great.
I think that says a lot to a lot of industries who've had to like pivot and be nimble to figure out.
Yes.
Better
pivot is the word. Pivot is the word.
The word of the year.
Well, I'm
it's the word of the year.
So backing up a little bit, I know once you graduated college, you started your own real estate business. So I'm a little intrigued to figure out how you leapt from selling apartments and condos and penthouses to making like green eggs and ham.
So it's a long story. I mean, I've been working in and out of the restaurant industry since I'm 13. I've always loved cooking, loved food, and even through college worked in restaurants, and out of college too. I actually didn't stop doing that till when I was maybe 25. So that was like 6 years before Master Chef. I mean, working in the restaurant industry is hard.
It's
hard. It's taxing. And you really gotta you gotta have all the fire, and the burnout is real. I burnt out. I actually went to school for architecture and business, and that was like another passion of mine, was designing houses, and I always wanted to renovate a house. So one day I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I can't be working until 2, 3 in the morning. Like, I'm just done. And took a gamble and bought a house, renovated it, like kind of followed my HGTV dreams, and renovated a house. And it sold. And all of a sudden I was like, man, like this is another passion of mine. And spent about 5 years in real estate, but food was always there. You know, I like to eat, I like to cook, and it was always kind of there. So, but I was still working in real estate when I got a phone call from MasterChef, from a producer. There's just an unknown LA number who was like, hey, can you be in New York City in 3 days to cook for Gordon Ramsay's assistant? Yeah.
Sure.
Let me just cancel some things.
Yeah.
But always tell them you have to check your schedule.
Right.
So
you don't want to see two.
Yeah. So let's just check.
Exactly.
So
it's kind of just a crazy series of events that led me to getting that phone call. But yeah, it was wild. So that obviously, you know, you don't say no, and going through the process of of reality TV, and then kind of reigniting my career as a chef. It really, I found a new passion, a new outlet that wasn't working in the restaurant industry, but was actually writing recipes and sharing them online with people and helping them cook at home. So it's a different kind of modality. It's a different way of being a chef. Instead of in a restaurant, now I'm connecting with people online and through books. And recipes.
And that's great, because I feel like sometimes it's, we can't afford to go to these really nice restaurants and stuff like that. So now it's nice to see chefs putting out their work for all the masses to see, and like, oh, you too can make this at home.
Yeah.
So that's nice. Well, that was my question. So, like, has cooking always just been in your blood, or were you inspired by mom or something? What inspired you?
I mean, look, I got a Jewish mother. Everything was food.
There we go.
Everything was food. Aunts, grandmas, whatever it was, there was food. So, in that sense, it was kind of inevitable. But my mom's a great cook, and we still, to this day, call each other with like food ideas, or like, she's like, oh, I just ate this thing. Like, she's so cute. She's been so excited about like this whole process, and was like kind of like a big, I don't know, just like mental resource for me. Like, I talked with her through a lot of the stresses of going through the cookbook process, which was a lot more stressful than it sounds. A book seems kind of chill, but it's a lot of work, and you have tight deadlines. But my mom's amazing. And like, even before I could legally work, I was like asking at 13, I was like begging the manager at our local Italian restaurant to let me work at the restaurant. And all he would do was like pay me cash to roll the silverware into the napkins, like they did in old school Italian restaurants. And I would do that for like 5 hours at a time at 13 years old. Like, I always wanted to be a chef. I always wanted to be in the restaurant or around food. So it was sort of inevitable in that sense.
Oh, I love that. I mean, it's so great how families can really connect with food. Like, one thing that I remember about my grandmother was her good cooking. And that's like a piece of something that I can take with me, even though she's passed. So, like, I love that your mom inspired you.
Yeah, and food really is love for me. And so, that part of cooking for people in real life feels really good when I see somebody's reaction when they taste my food. But like I said, now I found a new way to connect with people. And in 2020, 2021, moving forward, it ended up working out so beautifully, in the sense that people need comfort food. People need to eat well right now. It is a depressing time. And so being able to connect on a different level, when people send me pictures on Instagram or whatever, after they make a recipe from the book, and they're like, it's like their little like 8-year-old with an empty plate, and they're like, she doesn't eat anything, and she loved that. And like the sweetest messages that like, they do kind of hit me hard. Like, it really means a lot to me, and it motivates me to keep doing this, because I'm still connecting with people. I'm still cooking for people, just in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely want your miso glaze pork ribs. So if you ever get a chance,
my mouth started watering.
Yeah.
Come on over. Yes.
Yes. Sun-dried chicken. If you ever get a chance and you're in New York, I got something for you. I really want it. I would love to.
Don't sleep on the sun-dried tomato chicken. That one is delicious.
That's pretty delicious. I already got a plan where I put some pasta on it. Yes. So just kind of talking to you, you were talking about inspiration and everything. Talk to us what inspired you to write your book, New Keto Cooking, like for our listeners out there.
Sure. So twofold, one, it's always been a dream of mine to share my food and to write a cookbook. But the other piece of this is that a few years back, about 2 years ago, I really needed to make a change. I was like way out of control with my weight, and to a point, like, I don't like spreading the message that what you look like matters. If you feel beautiful, you are beautiful, let me tell you. Right. But there is a health concern getting in, when I was getting in my 30s, I was getting worried, and I didn't want diabetes or anything. And so I knew I had to make a change. So I gave this keto diet thing, which was like just kind of early and being hot a couple years back. Now it's like all the celebrities do it and stuff. But, a couple years ago, it's pretty new. I gave it a try, and it worked for me. And I just started cooking keto food and kind of finding passion around that. My fiance was like, you got to post this shit on Instagram. Like, this is really good food. Like, maybe this would help people. And so when I started sharing my kind of chefy inspired keto recipes on Instagram, it started really helping people. It started spreading, and it became kind of something that, again, I was surprised to feel so passionate about, was just helping people kind of get healthy and feel better, but still eat good. Like, I hate diet culture, and I hate this like idea that to eat healthy, you just got to eat like a plain piece of chicken and like lettuce like a rabbit. Like, no, you can eat real food and still feel good about it. Like, you don't have to suffer to get the body you want. I truly believe that. Like, I really believe that. And so getting the opportunity to write the book and bring food and bring recipes that kind of allowed me to say that to people in the book, and say, you can make really good food. You can have this like creamy sun-dried tomato chicken and glazed sticky ribs and all this kind of stuff and lose weight. That's what I'm talking about. Like, that's everything that I've set out to do. So that's what inspired me to write.
Our mouths are watering.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Yeah, we got a copy of your book, and I can't wait to dive in that.
I brought a little copy with me. I'm matching red. I didn't do that on purpose, but I am matching in the red.
It's very crimson, very Cabernet.
Crimson. Yes.
For our listeners out there who aren't necessarily well versed in the dietary vocabulary world, can you explain a little bit at a very high level, very basic, what the keto diet is?
Yeah, I mean, the most simple explanation is you're basically cutting out sugar and carbs. So without getting too sciencey, our bodies basically run on carbs and sugar as our fuel. So instead of that as my gasoline to run my engines, I'm switching over and you're fueling on fat. So you cut out sugar, you cut out bread and rice and, you know, stuff like that that's very carby, and you eat a diet that's pretty much meat and vegetables. So you can still eat really good. You can still have bacon and steak and all that, you know, buffalo wings, all that kind of stuff, blue cheese dressing, like all the things that I still really enjoyed eating. But you can't have bread, you can't have, you know, certain things like that. But it's still delicious. And that's why it worked for me, because you can lose a lot of weight or just feel better. Like, there's a lot of people who do keto not for weight loss. Like, you don't have to use it as a weight loss tool, but it did help me because I felt like it helped me have a smaller appetite because you're eating richer, fattier foods.
Do you get full?
So it helped me.
Do you get full or do you get hangry?
100%.
Or
I eat good. No, you can eat. I'm always full for sure. You can have a huge piece of steak. That's what's cool about it. Unlike, I don't know, like counting calories or like, well, I don't want to use a brand, but like WW, where you're restricted, where they're like, you can only have this amount of food per day. Keto isn't quite like that. You have to restrict just one part of the diet, meaning the sugar and the carbs, but everything else, you can kind of go wild with it. You know, I mean, to a point, but you can kind of go a little bit more loose about it and still eat good. And so it worked for me, and hopefully, you know, it's been working for a lot of other people for sure.
Well, we're gonna put it to the test because I'm definitely gonna go in that cookbook.
That hashtag quarantine 15 is real.
It might have been quarantine 30. I don't know, but
no, that's where we get the COVID-19s because we gained 19 pounds.
That's right.
We all have our own weight problems. Me, especially.
That's true. I gained 19 pounds. Well, it's because I haven't been vaccinated yet.
Wow. No, it's real. Like, yeah.
A question I have for you, you were kind of just speaking about it, but you have also spoke about it publicly, about what do you feel are the benefits of a low carb lifestyle are much more extensive than weight loss alone? Like, why do you feel like that's different? And you kind of spoke a little bit about it, but go into that a little bit more for us.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who feel like it's just really great for higher energy levels, better cognition. There's a lot of medical research around it. It's been used for like 20, 30 years for epilepsy, especially with children. There's people who, you know, are studying it in terms of fighting cancer, fighting diabetes because of that, you know, starting to get control over sugar levels and glucose levels in your blood. But I'm not super well versed. I'm not like trained for nutritionalist, but you know, I think it definitely has many more benefits. And for me, I just feel like my whole mood, like when I'm eating right on keto, I'm like waking, like I woke up this morning, no lie, I wake up at 2:30 in the morning. I did 500 rows on the rowing machine. Like I'm like, I wake up pumped. It's wild. And then like if I have a cheat weekend or like it's a Christmas or a birthday or something, I'm like the next day, I'm like stuck on the couch. Like it's real.
Couch potato.
Well, I went to bed at 2:30 last night, so that's cool.
You're not keto. You're doing keto.
No, among other, well, you know, I was
a K-hole.
Right.
So you're telling me that you're awake more than you're asleep. Like if you wake up at 2:30, what time do you go to bed?
Usually like 8:30, 9. If I'm on that schedule, that's not always completely normal, but I still always get up early. No, like I'm lame. Like, like I go to bed early and wake up early. I'm a morning bird. That's like my peace is the morning.
Well, that was before you knew us, and now that you know us, you start hanging out with us.
Do not let us influence you.
We don't
make you influence
you influence me.
Right.
Yeah, we want to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I didn't do that before 2020. I would say like getting into that space now where I'm not going out and I'm not really partying has changed my rhythm a lot. I'll be honest. So
I mean, people
we'll see how that changes,
except for Florida and
yeah,
Texas,
right,
and Atlanta,
in Texas.
Yeah, Texas,
and California.
No, Atlanta's lit. I've been seeing my friends like in fully packed clubs. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yo, Atlanta is wide open, but you know what? Florida,
Puerto Vallarta.
Them too. Mm-hmm. They're in trouble. So kind of switching to that, because I know we want to get back to some of that, but how do you feel about this as we're on the subject of it? How do you feel about people going out and posting their rendezvous out with thousands of people, like with everything that's going on? Do you find it to be insensitive, or do you see some places where you understand the need for people to want to be around people, but they shouldn't maybe post?
Or people are just going out because they need to eat.
Right.
I'll be honest. I think it's almost worse than insensitive. I think it's dangerous. I'll be honest. And that doesn't mean that we should be living in fear and not connecting. Like I still see friends outdoors and do things like that. But when I see a packed club or a bar, I think that's dangerous. I'm not going to lie. My fiance Jacob is a nurse, and you know, if everybody got to see what our nurses and stuff have gone through the last year, I think people would maybe have a little different reaction. By the way, shout out to all the healthcare workers.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, like honestly, seeing all the people packed in Atlanta at nightclubs, like there were like 300 people, I swear, the other day I showed everybody, and it was just like, I understand people want some semblance of real life, but honestly, this is just stubborn Americans at this point, not feeling, because everybody else I talk to, like I work for a company that has, you know, we're global, and I speak to people in Australia and New Zealand, they're all like, we stay home, like they know, which is why now they can go out. And this is just us being stubborn because we're told we can't do something, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and it's not that it doesn't make sense. Like I want to have fun too. You know, I get it. It's just,
right.
We all gotta get through this. Like looking back, we could have been done with this if people took it more seriously from the start, in my opinion.
Well, Ashley and I had a friend over the other night who spoke about,
she's a nurse,
and she was just like, please note that this second wave is people ages 30 to 50. It's not the 50 to 80, 100 like it was before. And those people listen because they're like, we're old, we don't want to die right now, we're gonna stay in the house.
Right.
People right now who's the problem. And she's like, I've seen a lot of younger people die in the past few weeks than anything. So I mean, I think everyone definitely needs to take caution
because the disease has mutated and evolved to attract
a younger crowd, if you will.
Yeah, but the mental health, I mean, I get it. People are lonely. Like I feel it too. I get it. It was the loneliest year ever for most people, I get it, but we got to keep pushing through this because we're near the end, but we got to keep pushing.
Yeah. Well, thank God we have comfort food to help us.
Right? Now you can cook from home using my new cookbook.
So I have
shameless plug.
Naughty food question. What's your favorite dish to cook that's not keto?
To cook? I love making pasta from scratch. To cook, I love making pasta from scratch. To eat, oh God, I mean, pizza, dim sum, or just like a damn good fresh donut. Don't get me started.
Well, speaking of the donuts, are you more like a Krispy Kreme kind of guy, or do you like to go to like the mom and pop?
I'm not picky. As long as it's soft. That cake bullshit, don't bring it here. But as long as it's soft.
It needs to be soft and hot.
Yeah.
Yes. It can have glaze, it can have sugar. I don't really care, but not that cake.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I feel that.
I don't want no crumble cake.
Do you have a sweet tooth?
Not usually, but it's just such a treat for me these days that like I've really come to appreciate like a really like gooey. We gotta stop talking about it.
No, I know. I was like, oh my God.
Listen, the donuts and the pig and the blanket. Like the pig and the blanket. Like in Texas, they have a lot of
kolaches.
Oh, those kolaches. Yeah.
I'll fuck up a dozen.
I'll be honest. I haven't eaten one yet. I see them. Like they have them at the gas stations and stuff. I see them, but I've never had one yet.
Oh, don't do those. Go to San Marcos. There's a place in San Marcos. I'll send you a DM, and I can tell you the exact place to go to. You'll love it.
Okay.
No. You get 12 of them, and then also get 6 donuts only. And
so you're saying, don't start with 1, start with 12.
Yeah, no, I'm dead serious. Right.
While you're in San Marcos, you can stop by the Eskimo Hut because they give you daiquiris to go.
How?
Oh, okay. I have a friend in San Marcos, so that's a good reason.
Yeah, we know San Marcos really, really well.
Yeah.
We just gave you the rundown.
There was, I don't think it was Sam, I think it was New Braunfels or something. There was like a pickle store that was really.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've been to New Braunfels.
Yeah. So I'm from San Antonio, so close to all those. New Braunfels, Austin, San Marcos.
Yeah. There's a lot of good food around here.
Sure.
Yeah, stay out of New Braunfels. I dated a guy from there. He was terrible, so don't do that.
Luckily he's engaged.
Yeah.
Luckily you're engaged, but don't go there because I'm sure he'll like.
Oh, I thought you meant your ex was engaged. Yes, that too. I'm also engaged. But yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he is at this point. Unlucky bastard, but whatever. I'm not bitter, whatever.
No, I'm not bitter.
We have one final question for you before we let you go.
We have a couple. We got plenty of questions.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, sis.
Oh, okay. So I don't know if you know the answer to this, but I've always wondered because me and Adam are always watching MasterChef.
Word.
So I want to know if you know, what do they do with all of the extra food that they have? Do they give it to like the production team? Like, because I want to be that guy, that girl, that whatever, that PA, whatever. I want the food.
It's hard. So a lot of the food is taken home by the staff for sure. Okay. Sometimes there's just too much. And there are these crazy rules. So there's like, health inspectors and stuff that are involved in this. So they try to donate. So any ingredients, as far as I understand, the ingredients that are fresh and unused that haven't been, like the package hasn't been opened, they donate those to food shelters as much as possible. But once, I might have hit the mic. Once somebody opens something, unfortunately, the law requires that they can't donate those. So some staff will take it, but I'll be honest, I'm sure a lot still ends up in the trash.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah.
They got the wrong PAs working now because let me tell you.
I, from experience, have taken food from set. I was like, I got like 3 types of fajitas, all the fixins. I was like, I'm taking a cab and getting into the house.
Yeah.
In the age of
I sort of felt like
that's exactly sanitary.
Right.
Sure.
No,
sure.
yeah. And a lot of times people will mess up and they'll be like raw meat or whatever. Like most of the staff would still eat the catering because some of the competitions just like got so wild that like people ran out of time and stuff. So there are just like sadly a lot of food that just can't get eaten. But like when people bake things, like they always bring all that stuff home for the kid, the staff and the kids and all that.
I'm glad that's going to a good home, right?
Yeah.
Every time we watch, I'm like, where is all this food going? And can I be that person?
I'll be honest with you. I've done, obviously I've been doing these things. People ask me all kinds of questions about the show. Nobody has asked me that question before. So congratulations.
Yay!
By the podcast. Pioneering.
Yes.
We are changing the industry.
We do love food.
Yeah, we do love food. We have plenty of questions about food.
A lot of questions about food.
So staying on Master Chef, so you've obviously gotten to meet Gordon Ramsay. So right now I'm rewatching what is it?
Kitchen Nightmares.
And I'm just laughing. I love watching Gordon yell at people.
I love watching him cuss people out. It's so funny.
It's the best. Unless it's you getting it, but that's
Right.
Right. I was gonna say, so like, is he like that, like in just everyday, like, is he cussing out, right? Or is it just something more for the show?
Yes, it's a two-part answer. So he's not putting on an act. It's not fake. Like sometimes people will assume it's just like a TV persona. He is a tough ass in the kitchen. So when we're cooking, even if the cameras aren't rolling, he's exactly the same. Like he holds us to a very high standard. He takes no shit in the kitchen. But as soon as it's not involved with cooking, he is the nicest, warmest, most loving guy. He knows every staff member's name. He still messages me. He remembers everybody. He cares. Like that man is as sweet as could be until the kitchen starts. And it's and it's pure fear from like it was terrifying. And you're also like under all this pressure because like all these cameramen and like just the lights and the set and the pressure of like knowing that one mistake could like send me home and my life is ruined because I blew my shot. Like it's a crazy environment. And so to have him yelling in addition to all of that, like that's why you see people mess up. Like most people on MasterChef, on all the shows he does, are really amazing chefs. Like they've beat out hundreds or like thousands and thousands of people to be there. But sometimes it just doesn't pan out when you're filming because it's just the environment is insane. Like it's hard to even put words to it. The pressure.
It's like being on the cooking line, but like you ain't really cooking for people, so you're just like, wait, what's going on? What am I doing?
If I fuck up, I'm going home.
So you stress.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, because you're competing and there's all this stuff happening, and you have to also talk to the cameras. There's like a camera on you at all times, and you're talking to it. There's so much that gets edited, of course, So
right.
You don't necessarily see all the talking that we do because you don't know how they're going to put it together, but you're doing a lot at the same time and trying to still look relatively put together because you don't want to make a fool of yourself in front of everybody you ever known. So yeah,
it's like paying and they're like, tell me about your childhood growing up.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Well, before we let you go, we had the episode prior to this, we talked about our New Year's resolutions and everything that we want to do in the new year. So what is your New Year's resolution, if you even do those? And what would you say to our listeners to quell their minds as we're going into a new presidency, a whole new world, hopefully, with the vaccines out?
Ooh, two good questions. Okay, so first thing first, my New Year's resolution, I really need to continue working on my own kind of mindset, my own positivity, and like without getting too, whatever, but like I've always battled with insecurity and feeling like I'm not enough and I got so vulnerable around being, especially now, kind of in the public eye. And it's scary and it's hard on me. And like some days I just wake up and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. So my point is this year, I'm really trying to work on being kinder to myself and kind of finding some confidence or more confidence. I'm always working on this. So finding that inner confidence to just feel like I can really keep pushing to the next level is my New Year's resolution. What was the second question? It was about the world, politics.
Yeah, absolutely. And what would you say to our listeners who, we're going through a new presidency, a whole new life with the vaccine? What would you say to them to calm them down and make them feel, because you seem very calm and centered as a human being. So I think that they can take some kind of lead from
basically you. What foods work.
Stay calm this year by cooking from this cookbook. No, I'm just kidding.
There you go.
I think that kind of similar to the first point that I was making, which is that I think that so much of it is kind of up here a little bit, that we just have to remind ourselves that like, we're okay, we can get through this, we can do this, and kind of like forget about the noise. I think you know, we do have to be super tuned in, and I'm very clear about like my stances, my politics, what's okay and what's not okay, you know, in what I do and talk about on my platforms. But when you're sitting there by yourself in your house, you got to feel good about you and know who you are, feel good about who you are, and kind of take a minute every day to cut out the noise, turn off the screens, and just kind of take a minute to yourself. And in the same way as my New Year's resolution, just remind yourself that like, you're good enough, you're good, you got things under control. And I think it's just really important to kind of take that moment to yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's brilliant.
Great advice.
Yeah.
Well, Chef, thank you so much for taking
Thank
the
you.
time to chat with us. All
Thank
things
you.
food, all things politics, all things hot topics. We really appreciate it. Tell our listeners where they can purchase New Keto Cooking.
Yeah, New Keto Cooking is, I mean, anywhere books are sold, Amazon, Target, Walmart, .com, all that kind of jazz. Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. Support local. If you go to indiebooks.com, you can find out local bookstores that where they'll have my book in stock, or often they can order it in stock. So if you're willing to wait, please support local right now as much as possible. Please support Black and queer-owned businesses as much as possible. So
Yes,
you know, go to indiebooks.com and try to use that as much as possible. But of course, you can find out more information on my Instagram at Chef Michael Keto. That's where my daily antics are, as well as a bunch more free recipes and just like all kinds of stuff on my Instagram. That's where I live. That's where I make connections. Send me a message. I try to respond to every DM I get. I am a human being and I like to connect with other human beings. So yeah, find me on Instagram, and my website is chefmichael.com.
Yeah.
You want to plug your new TikTok that you just got?
Yeah, plug your TikTok.
Chef Michael. I'm on TikTok, Chef Michael as well, but I don't really use it too much.
That's okay. The FCC will be coming and regulating all that
I
shit
think
anyway.
yeah. I don't know. I think I'm too old for TikTok.
That's what
I
I
feel
think
the
too.
same
I
way.
know, but listen,
Yeah.
you gotta get on the TikToks with the youngsters.
You know,
Honestly,
The TikTok.
I done told them 102 times, if we do not get our old asses on TikTok and make this money,
Right.
you got too many young kids out here that are
Making a
millionaires right now.
I know
They got on
some
TikTok
of
and did
them.
a stupid video.
Stupid
I know.
videos.
Stupid video.
I know.
Some are very funny though.
We're gonna put this on TikTok.
I love you guys. You're awesome. This was really fun.
Thank you,
much.
Chef
Thank you,
Michael.
Chef
so
Michael.
much.
Much.
It was a pleasure. Be safe.
Bye,
and
guys.
wash your hands before you cook.
Oh,
Bye.
God. Bye.